Hi there, everyone. One of my favorite series is Junie B Jones. I find her so funny, and I thought I would read to you Junie B Jones is Not a Crook. So grab your stuffy, grab your pet, grab your baby brother, your baby sister, and get ready for this story called Junie B Jones is Not a Crook by Barbara Park. No good reason. My name is Junie B Jones. The B stands for Beatrice, except I don't like Beatrice. I just like B, and that's all. Here is a story for you. It is called Once Upon a Time, My Grandfather named Frank Miller went to the store and he bought me some mittens. Once upon a time, my grandfather named Frank Miller went to the store and he bought me some mittens. They are made out of black, fuzzy fur. And guess what? It was not even my birthday or Christmas or Valentine's Day. Plus, the mittens weren't even on sale. Grandpa Miller just bought them for no good reason. And that is the best reason I ever heard of. That's how I came to love that guy so much. Plus, also, he can skip. The end. I like that story a real lot. 'Cause guess why? I didn't even make it up. That's why. That adventure actually happened to me. My Grandpa Miller really did buy me mittens for no good reason. And they're gorgeous, I tell you. When I first opened them, I got filled with glee. Glee is when you run and jump and skip and laugh and clap and dance on top of a dining room table. And then your mother takes you down from the table and she carries you to your room for a time out. Time outs kill the glee. I wore my new mittens the whole entire morning. Plus, also, I wore them to afternoon kindergarten. I wore them with my attractive winter jacket, only it wasn't actually cold out. Only who even cares? 'Cause that outfit looked very beautiful together. I showed my mittens to my bestest friend named Grace. Also, I showed them to a variety of strangers. After I got to school, I held my hands over my head and I runned all over the playground. Junie B Jones does not have very good grammar. Look, everybody! Look at my new mittens! My Grandpa Frank Miller brought them for no good reason. I waved them all around in the air. How many children see these lovely things? Raise your hands, I hollered. Nobody raised their hands. How many children think these mittens are gorgeous? Please come forward, I yelled. Nobody came forward. I put my hands back down and walked to that Grace. I couldn't create any interest, I said, very glum. Oh, guess what? Just then I spotted my other bestest friend named Lucille. I ran my fastest to greet her. Lucille! Lucille, look at my mittens! They're gorgeous. See them? They're made out of black furry fur. Lucille petted them. My family has lots of fur, she said. My mother has a fur cape, and my aunt has a fur jacket, and my uncle has a fur hat. Plus, my Nana just bought a brand new mink coat, only she can't wear it outside of the house or else people will throw paint on her. My mouth came all the way open. Why, Lucille? Why will people throw paint on your Nana? I asked. Lucille crossed her arms. Don't you know anything, Junie B Jones? It's because people who love furry animals don't like them being made into coats for Nanas. Just then, I felt relief in me, 'cause I'm not even a Nana, that's why. And besides, my mittens aren't even made out of real furry animals. They're made out of fake furry animals, and those kind don't even count. All of a sudden, the bell rang for school. I zoomed to my room like a speeding rocket. Guess why? More people to show my mittens to, that's why. Should we keep going to chapter 2? Fur hands. I showed my mittens to my teacher. Her name is Mrs. She has another name too, but I just like Mrs., and that's all. Feel them, Mrs., I said. Feel how soft they are. I rubbed them on her face. Ooh, they are soft, Junie B, she said. Be sure and put them in your jacket pockets so they won't get lost, okay? I skipped very happy to my seat. Yeah, only I'm not even going to lose them, I said just to myself. I'm going to wear them right on my hands the whole livelong day, 'cause I love these guys. That's why. I took off my attractive winter jacket and I sat down at my table, and then I tapped on Lucille with my furry mittens. Hello, how are you today? I have fur hands. See them, Lucille? See my hands of fur? I flew them in the air. This is what fur hands look like when they're flying in the air, I said. I waved hello. This is what fur hands look like when they're waving hello, I said. Lucille did a frown. You see her waving them in her face. You're being annoying, she said. That's how come I turned around and I smiled at a boy named William. I have fur hands, William. See them? See my fur hands? I tapped on his head. This is what fur hands look like when they're tapping you on the head, I said. Just then I got up from my chair and I skipped to my boyfriend named Ricardo. I tickled him under the chin with my soft hands of fur. This is what fur hands look like when they're tickling you under the chin, I said. And then I grinned and grinned, 'cause that boy brings out the best in me, that's why. Pretty soon, Mrs. saw me out of my seat, and she held my hand, and she marched me back to my table. This is how fur hands look when they're marching to my table, I said. Mrs. plopped me in the chair, and then she pulled off my fur hands, and she put them on her desk, and I did a sad sigh. That is how fur hands look when they're no longer in my possession, I whispered to just myself. After that, I put my head on my desk and I covered up with my arms, and I didn't come out for a real long time. Can you just see this happening in your classroom? Should we get to chapter 3? Let's go. Being Brownie. Mrs. said I could have my mittens back at the recess. I stared and stared at the clock, and then I tapped my fingers on the table, and I did loud breaths. Lucille tattletaled on me. Junie B keeps tapping her fingers and making loud breaths, and I can't even concentrate on my work, she grouched. Mrs. came to my table. Hello, how are you today? I said, kind of nervous. I'm fine, except I don't actually have my mittens. She tapped her foot real fast. That was not a good sign, I think. Only guess what? Just then the bell rang for recess. Oh boy, I yelled. Oh boy, 'cause now I can have my mittens back. Right, missus? Right. I zoomed to her desk and put them on my hands, and I rubbed these softy things all over my cheeks. It's good to be with you again, I whispered into their fur. After that, I put on my attractive winter jacket, and I skipped outside with my friends. Me and Tattletale Lucille and that Grace play horses together at recess. I'm Brownie, Lucille is Blackie, and that Grace is Yellowy. I'm Yellowy, shouted that Grace. I'm Blackie, shouted Lucille. I'm Brownie, I shouted. Only then I looked at my mittens, and I did a frown, 'cause there was a little bit of a problem here, I think. Yeah, only how can I even be Brownie? 'Cause my horse paws are black, and so I am 2 different colors, apparently. Lucille and that Grace did frowns, too. Said that Grace. Said Lucille. I said. Just then that Grace clapped her hands together, very excited. I know, Junie B. Today you and Lucille can trade. Today Lucille can be Brownie and you can be Blackie, and so that way your horse's paws will be the right color. Me and Lucille looked and looked at that girl, 'cause what kind of crazy idea was that? I did a huffy breath. Yeah, only how can I even be Blackie when I'm already Brownie, Grace? I said. I've been Brownie my whole entire career as a horse. You can't just go changing, you know. Yeah, Grace, you can't just go changing, said Lucille. And that Grace looked embarrassed at herself. Oh, yeah, what was I thinking, she said, very mumbling. Poor Grace, I think she had a good idea. After that, all of us sat down in the grass, and we tapped on our chins, and we thought and thought and thought, and then all of a sudden, my whole face lighted up. Hey, I thought of it. I know exactly what to do, I shouted. I jumped up. Start again, Grace. Say your name again. Say that you are yellowy. And that Grace looked curious at me. I'm yellowy, she said. I pointed to Lucille. I'm Blackie, she said next. I spinned around real joyful. I'm Brownie, I shouted. Only guess what? Yesterday my Grandpa Brownie bought me black furry mittens, and so that is how come I am two different colors, apparently. After all of that, we did high fives, and we started to play horses. We galloped and trotted and snorted and snuffed, only too bad for me, 'cause the sun kept on beating down on my horse's head, and I got drippy inside my attractive winter jacket. I am going to die from heat perspiration, I said, and that's how come I trotted over to a tree and I took off all my stuff. First, I took off my attractive winter jacket, and then I took off my furry black mittens and I piled them in a careful pile. And after that, I galloped away to find my horse friends, and we played and played and played. Pretty soon, Mrs. blew her loud whistle. That means the end of recess. Coming! Shouted Yellowy. Coming! Shouted Blackie. Coming! I shouted, and then I hurried up back to the tree to get my stuff. Only guess what? Can you see those pictures? They're hard to see a little bit, aren't they? I saw something very terrible there. That's what. It's called, hey, somebody stole my mittens. Poor Junie B. All right, that was chapters 1 to 3. We'll continue with chapter 4 very soon. I hope that you find her as funny as I do. See you soon.